also feel like the games that we've seen so far, the mid matchup has been an actual mid matchup. If that makes sense, we have we have the ODs versus the TAs. Like it's very focused on the 1-versus-1 and the skill difference between the players and the matchups and the choices and stuff. So I think that is always a good one to watch in a patch like that.
Yeah, no, definitely fun. And it's like at TI, I feel like it was always just, oh god, they have the gimmick. They have like OD with a Kunkka with a Mirana, and then you have to always you're always like this cautious mid laner. You're like, oh god, if I step up too far, I'm just gonna get arrowed. Now it's true 1v1s.
For I think some of the complaints around the current patch, it's definitely one of the great things that it feels like mid has gone back to a pure 1v1, because you go back many patches, it felt like mid was this like 2v2 or 3v3 lane. Then it became a 1v1 where everyone was just kind of picking cheesy heroes, like you mentioned, Fog. So we're back to more of that skill matchup stuff going on.
I like that. That's good.
Definitely seeing runes play a big factor, though. Again, I feel like teams aren't checking that 2-minute rune a lot of the time, and it's like, oh, he got a DD, like lane lost, stuff like that. So
regen rune minute 4.
Yeah, regen bristleback, I think it was yesterday with the bristle that took every stack from the enemy team or something like that because he had a regen rune. So yeah, you definitely have to watch out for those 2-minute runes now that it's a 1v1 mid.
Now, we didn't talk too much about heroes just yet, but so far, I mean, in terms of what we were seeing in the bans, nothing out of the ordinary just yet.
Yep.
And I think, I mean, it's kind of been the same. Like, we have not seen many surprises in terms of heroes, maybe sometimes in terms of roles.
Yep. Wow, first phase Brood ban.
Yeah. And that also means Night Stalker's still in the pool.
Oh, I just got so confused for a few moments. I just saw ROTK on the bottom there, and I'm like, wait, ROTK's playing?
Oh,
but it has the captain as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was only 5 names.
6, yeah.
I was like, have I missed something drastic now? What's going on here?
Yeah. Showing some respect to the coaches, putting their names on there as well.
I mean, in terms of the role they play, especially in a team like Vici Gaming, it's warranted for sure.
But Void being one of the most successful carriers of the tournament in terms of win rate, and always Vici's the team who would pick this hero when it wasn't even in the meta, so I think there's a very good chance they're considering that as one of their first 2. Alchemist still in the pool, of course.
Yep.
Keeper of the Light coming out.
Of course.
Of course.
No surprises.
Yeah, well, surprising if, for fighting PandaS, they play it as, the only time they played it was as a 4.
Okay.
On snaking. So that's
interesting.
A little unusual. AUI hasn't played Cuddle the entire tournament, which is, I think, one of the only position 5s that hasn't.
It's Owie. If it was Cuddle that skilled Blinding Light, then we would play it. But this Cuddle doesn't farm. This Cuddle plays behind people. Owie likes to farm, even if he's playing the non-farming role.
They may have been looking at what one of the most successful duos is, this Cuddle Night Stalker, and just thinking, let's just first do Cuddle Night Stalker, which is Vici Gaming's like, well, let's also block pick that Night Stalker, because it may be a duo that fighting PandaS haven't run, but it is so insanely powerful. And Night Stalker's not like this carry hero that I think most carry players can pick him up very easily. Like he's not super difficult. The skill cap to play is not that high.
I like the Lina pick a lot. I think this is something that I feel like I see no teams actually hitting the Will-O-Wisp. But I feel like Lina is one of those heroes that you can put in different roles, and you can actually kill the Will-O-Wisp.
Yes.
You have the increased attack speed. You kill it very quickly, and it's a flex pick. So
you're not able to stand outside of the thing while hitting it, though. Still, even with Lina's extra attack range.
Yep.
Unless you get a Dragonlance.
With Dragonlance, probably, and like with the talent later on, like.
If you really want to.
I mean, that's like,
we're getting,
just thinking ahead.
Oh.
Beastmaster. The teams who've had success against Night Stalker always have really good lockdown and control for him. You just can't let him run in and out, throw voids, play on the outside. You need to be able to just hard stun him and deal with him. Like whether it's some 5-position Ogre we've seen, hard stuns like Beastmaster Roar, there's the Naga Siren who's got the Ensnare. You just need control for him.
Flying Vision's not bad either.
Yep.
Couple versus the Dark Ascension. Have we seen, I actually haven't seen, I've seen a couple teams do the Beastmaster, but do they go, I've seen a few go Axes. And I'm assuming with Coddle you'd want to do that, right? Because you refresh the Axes, and if they're going to lane those 2 to put pressure on, you can actually Axe spam and stack the Axes. It's something people used to do.
Do you think you can play Beastmaster with Axes? Because that spell got nerfed a lot.
It got nerfed a ton. I'm wondering which games I saw someone actually leveling Axes again, but I think they were skipping the Inner Beast and they were doing Axes in the Boar.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly which one it was.
If you're running like you say, the 4-position Coddle that they did last time, that makes sense. But I feel like we are almost only seeing 5-position Coddle outside of maybe the prep set game, so I would still lean towards it being a 5 here.
Okay. Alk taken out, of course. Sanking, I like that band too. I think the Sanking and Lina combos we've seen a lot of times too. Just so much stun pressure. In and out of fights too. It's a lot of these like weaving in and out of fights, which I think Sanking, Night Stalker, these heroes excel together.
Yep. Neither team touching Gyrocopter yet as well.
Yeah.
That's another bit small surprise.
In the game that J-Storm had against eHome, the last one they played in the groups, they did also have the Keeper of Light Beastmaster, Alchemist, which is banned now, but they did have the Gyrocopter in that game.
Is it J-Storm?
Fighting PandaS! I shouldn't have put them on the pages next to each other either, because my eyes just keep catching the name. But this was the right the right draft that I mentioned. It was the Fighting Pandas draft that I mentioned. Just I got the name.
I know a lot of teams, a lot of people like the combo, the Gyro Coddle, because you refresh the barrage, you lower the cooldown of missile as well. So this chase and the potential for Gyro in the lane is insane. Because you run out of mana on Gyro a lot of the times if you're really trying to gun out for kills, and Coddle just changes that entirely.
Going into the bonus time for this last ban. I mean, overall, are there still some usual suspects that we should be looking out for?
Perhaps. I mean, they've started targeting the carry roll with the Alk, so a Gyro or Void ban might make sense. I think the other hero that I felt like was going to be key this series is TA. So they ban Kunkka, take Gyro, but TA has been really dominant in Bryle's hands, and it was also like one of the games they were losing at eHome, TA was on the other side, so I've seen a lot of TA wins at this tournament.
Works well with their draft at the moment. Synergizes great with Beastmaster. The Chakra Refresh on TA. It feels like Chakra Refresh on everything is ridiculous, but Chakra Refresh on TA.
Certain heroes even more so.
Yeah. Super strong. They can maybe save it.
Yeah, it's more like that. I guess they have the last pick. No, Vici Gaming have last pick.
Vici Gaming is that last pick. They also won the coin toss.
Okay.
Which made me think that they probably selected second pick, which we have seen a couple of teams do, giving that importance to the last pick and probably then to the mid lane for the reason we mentioned earlier.
So Ogre, so we'll be 4th position, we'll Coddle potentially, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they did last time.
Yeah, interesting.
They have a different idea to how they implement this, and then we'll see if they go for the Axis build with the Chakra.
Yeah, I'm curious. I saw it in. I can't remember if it was like which official game it was. I think I saw it in official. I saw it in some pubs. I saw people doing the Beastmaster Axis in pubs. So
it works a lot nicer with the Ogre because you've got a 5 position that can make up for Coddle's lack of stuns or playmaking. You've got this here that can just kind of run in, try to throw fire blasts.
Warlock. This hero looked hot yesterday.
I did.
Yeah.
Fear, one fight, like he just walks around from the river and just ruin the whole game pretty much in one move.
It was Warlock Gyro too, right?
Yeah,
first 2, yeah.
And even like on the lane, it actually worked out still. Fatal Bonds is still super strong level 1.
Yeah, Fatal Bond strong, and you just heal your carry. You just constantly heal your carry. Sure, you may die a couple times. I think Fear maybe died like once or twice in the lane, but they didn't do the best in that lane, I remember. The Gyro Warlock got a bit handled. It was like a Dark Willow +1, I can't remember. Dark Willow Death Prophet, I think it was.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it was a tough lane for them, but they caught up, and then the Gyro ended up owning just from like one team fight.
And Vici's draft, there's so many different ways they can lane this right now, with Gyro, Night Stalker, Lina all being these kind of flex heroes that can go multiple roles.
It's true.
So they can really wait and see what's coming their way before they decide where they're going.
And with the last pick, even more so.
And there's the Void
the
right now.
Void.
I feel like they're lacking damage.
Yes.
Quite heavily at the moment. So Bryle's gonna have to play some explosive, an explosive hero that does a ton of damage here.
Like.
I mean, there's Tia, but it doesn't work well with Void.
Yeah, the hero played once and did really well was OD in the Unknown series.
Yep.
Invoker.
Yeah, Invoker. He's a big Quap player.
Quap. I think I like Queen actually. Queen's not.
Into Night Stalker.
Yeah, immediately I'm like.
Queen is also not. It felt like a kind of underwhelming hero just in general. Like I'm not.
God, so many all the like int heroes. It's just like Night Stalker. Immediately put off. They banned the Invoker. I think that's the big one because you hit a point where you hit 20 and you win the game. You pretty much just win as a Void Invoker combo at that point.
And the great synergy with Chrono, of course, as well.
Yeah. Just Cataclysm on top of a Chrono and anyone's dead pretty much at that point. So I like that ban.
I think the TA is still okay for me, even though it doesn't synergize with Void, just because it has been such a solid mid laner that can always recover, farm fast in the jungle. You've got the Beastmaster aura to kind of hit this mid game timing with, take Roche, take towers.
Gives you more vision with the Beastmaster too. Like it does work well with most of their heroes. Just like with the Void, it can be a little weird, but you can like play on the back lines while the Void Chronos and stuff like that. So
it's gonna be like Void Chronos, and it's like it's up to the Void to kill people inside. He's got nothing to really follow it up if you're picking TA, unless you can position right on the outside with your Blink Dagger.
Is there any glaring one that we're not noticing here? I just see Coddle and I'm thinking all like I'm trying to think the Coddle heroes, but Ember? No, that looks like it's TA if they're banning Huskar.
Bring back.
Yeah, it's TA.
Go with the comfort picks. Heroes that's worked for you, even if it's not going to perfectly synergize with your draft.
It's not like it's bad with Void, right? Like it's still not. It's still like pretty good. You can still line up, but it's not. Yeah. It's not your big spell damage guy.
And if Void knows he's playing with the TA, he's going to try to position people on the outside of the Chrono, so TA can still blink hit people.
Had a great Roche lineup.
And Warlock doesn't really have a good way to get rid of a TA on his tail. So TA is a good one for that as well.
Bloodlust is really good for both TA and Void, so...
Inner Beast for the Beastmaster too. Yeah.
So what do Vici need?
So they do want an Ori hero. That is an Ori Pugna.
And that is a super dominant matchup versus TA.
This is really cool because I was thinking like, okay, they've got 2 physical damage cores. What are they like? What beats that? Like the Omni Knight type heroes, but you don't really want an Omni here. Pugna, you've got Decrep against them. You can save people in the Chronosphere. Really good pick.
I love that versus the TA and the Void. Yeah, if he's in the right positioning, I'm assuming he'll get like a Blink Dagger at some point in this game on this Pugna. Like, and this mid matchup is going to be a problem for Bryle.
That is worrisome the way you guys talk about this draft, or at least worrisome for the Fighting Pandas.
At least just the mid lane.
Yeah,
it's a really good Ori pick.
And it's still TA. It's still this. We've seen every single time TA loses lane, you just
and
go
then
jungle.
You win,
Problem is, you leave your lane. Pugna pushes your tower.
Pugna takes your tower.
So it's not like some of these other mids we've seen TA lose to, where your tower still just defends itself. You send a support there. Maybe Coddle defends your tier 1 mid while you jungle. I like Finding Panda's draft a lot, not necessarily because of how it matches up. I just feel like they've got a good, well-rounded draft that suits them. So I don't think it's like a heavy out draft by any means. They've set themselves up for success. But yeah, Vici Gaming have some nice counter picks in a way.
Yeah, I agree. That's for sure. Just their counter initiation and stuff can be really good. But I feel like Fighting Pandas, if they can start like getting their farm up, they can just sit back and it's not Vici setting the tempo, then Fighting Pandas could have a really good shot in this one.
All right, so we're going to look for who sets the tempo. That's going to be a dominating factor in the game, and who takes the lead will probably stay ahead, get ahead, stay ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vici will be the ones just leading the charge. I mean, they have Night Stalker, Gyro, and Pugna. These 3 heroes are very, very fast-paced. They're going to be looking to take the fights and look to take down those towers early on.
All right, let's see how Fighting Pandas can deal with that. And let's hear from the wonderful voices of Tsunami and LD.
But before our voices, may I propose a toast?
A toast?
You've got a fine beverage. I've got a fine beverage. Together,
cheers.
Let's enjoy some beverages and then some Dota. How does it taste?
Oh, yeah, that's a smoothie, all right. Shout out to Purge. In case anyone did not catch the morning show, you missed a very educational experience on making smoothies. And let me tell you, I don't think Purge knows smoothies as well as he knows Dota, because, whoa, that is chunky.
Chunky and delicious, I believe, is what you meant to say,
yeah,
Neil.
both those for sure. And yeah, this draft is looking pretty chunky. Pugna, I thought that Vici Gaming were not going to have the level of push that Fighting Pandas does. To me, the TA pick was chosen to give a Desolator builder, really work with this Beastmaster and this Coddle to just start mowing down towers. Then, Vici Gaming finished it off with a Pugna. So now, I don't even know if Fighting Pandas is going to be able to deal with this. The mid lane is going to be quite difficult, as we see AUI trying to challenge this top bounty rune. May actually...
Early duels with a chunky boy. They'll just walk away, though. They cannot take him down that easily. Jukes into the trees, comes back, gives him the club, gives him the stun, gives him some love taps. But yeah, Ori will make it back to mid. You know, so our panel, Tsunami, they talked a lot about how this is a rough lane for the TA, and certainly we've seen that before. I guess the bigger question is, like, how do you see these lineups matching up overall come mid-game, you know, more generally speaking?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this Beastmaster does, because I think Beastmaster is going to set the pace for how quickly Fighting Pandas can start taking objectives, be it Roche, be it towers, be it jungle control with the vision, because there's also a lot of vision going on in favor of Fighting Pandas. You've got TA traps, you've got the Hawk, and if you're able to make sure that this Night Stalker of Yang isn't able to get what he wants to get done, which is just roam around the map as soon as completing the Aghanim Scepter, then I favor Fighting Pandas in the mid game.
Okay, let's see if they can get to that stage. For now, good start here for Bryle. Ori, in fact, being forced to pop his Fairy Fire just to get out safely. Throws out the Decrepify, trying to mess with Bryle a bit and secure some last hits. So that lane going really well for Bryle early on. We'll see how it progresses as the Pugna gets more levels. This bottom lane, though, DY is just dominating with the right-click harass on the Warlock.
Yeah, this is the lane that we saw J-Storm run yesterday. It's as soon as the Fatal Bonds comes out, you just activate Flak Cannon, and you'd think that a lane like this, which Snaking is going for, or rather Moon Meander is going for the axes. The idea is to refresh the axe cooldown, get that damage stacking going with the Beastmaster, but they're not being able to play very aggressive because Fatal Bonds plus Flak Cannon is just so much damage. Moon Meander is constantly at critical HP.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to level it up. The one game that Moon played on this hero previously in the tournament, I checked his skill build. He only kept it at level 1 and did not max it. So we'll see how much they want to commit to that combo.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves it at 1. It may entirely just be lane dependent. If you're able to dominate the lane, then go for more points. If you have to do, you know, run away like this constantly, Moon Meander is getting so heavily zoned out.
Yeah, they've resorted to just pulling the creeps around, but DY is going to be here to punish Snakecane and harass him back. The Courier gets involved. A couple of extra auto attacks. Creeps will follow.
Yeah, Snakecane's like dragging this all the way to the mid lane.
Yeah, could be a happy Bryle, perhaps. No, oh, lost him.
I have no idea where the lane's going to end up now.
Yeah, they're going back.
Because they could also push with this. It may almost be like 2.5 waves at this point. And Eurus, he's already got Flak Cannon. He can very easily clear creep waves.
Now he's just got a free pull of his own, it seems. So he'll just look to get ahead in terms of levels. So up top, Yang doing great on this Night Stalker. 14-0 to the 5-1 of Eternal Envy. They are getting really punished, and it does seem like Vici Gaming, these two very strong laning supports, Neil, are making the difference early. The Lina, the Warlock, just constantly able to be disruptive and harass incessantly.
Yeah, it's not many heroes that can go toe-to-toe against an Ogre. Lina's one of them on the list, as she does have a Bazzi Ring, and that makes a big difference in her level of harass. She has the mana regen to burn to just keep on dropping LSAs on AUI, and you do not see Ogres get bullied like this.
Look at this!
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get chunked, man. Oh, nice dodge here by Eternal Envy. But Ori has picked up a haste.
Still hunting for AUI up here, but he solves up, and yeah, haste picked up by Ori. It's not too big of a deal to get a heavy CS advantage as a Pugna against a TA. The idea is you just want to get more and more levels, more and more experience. Once the Decrepify gets very high level, you win the lane automatically.
The best thing about getting a haste rune is knowing you're most likely getting the next rune.
Which he does, picks up the Invis rune top, yeah.
So, I guess as you would expect, as the Pugna gets more levels, gets his bottle, things get really rough for Bryle here. Still 17-4, but the turnaround in this lane has been pretty significant.
Yeah, and usually the consolation prize, as PYW does not get bashed at all in the top lane, the consolation prize for a TA is like, that's cool. I can farm stacks. The thing is, the other side lanes are going so poorly for Fighting Pandas that no one's able to do stacks right now. Snaking as a Coddle, Coddle's like a great hero for setting up stacks. He can't leave Moon alone. As soon as he does, this lane's already getting plowed down.
Look at the farm on the Vici Gaming cores. The top 3 heroes in terms of CS, the top 3 heroes in terms of net worth. The regen just constantly being ferried out, and it looks like they are going to get 3 bounty runes.
Snake King may die for this, though. DY activates the Mango to get the Shadow
Snake King's going to go for it, you're right, and he's going to give up the first blood. Well, gets the free fountain trip, can ferry back some regen, I suppose. Yeah. Free is maybe not the right word. He gets the fountain trip as a consolation prize.
Yeah, there's a price on that one. And he immediately goes back bot, so I guess he's just going to have to let Bryle fend for himself, because still, Bryle not having any stacks, getting life drained here.
The other thing to talk about is not only can, the panel mentioned how Pugna can really punish the TA jungling by taking the tower, Vici Gaming can also contest these stacks and steal them very easily with a Pugna, a Gyro, and a Lina. That is a lot of AoE. Very
easily. And seeing as how this Night Stalker is also doing immensely well, he's going to be more than willing to invade with them. So not only are they going to be able to take the stacks once they find them, but Night Stalker will actually be able to identify them once they start happening, if they start happening. Maybe I'm just making some wild assumptions here, because Snake King still running around like chicken with his head cut off as TA getting ganked in the mid lane.
Bryle, hefty damage, has the 20 stick charges, but still Ori chasing, nuking the wave down. Does not want to let him CS. They're going to have to rotate Aoi in, and the blinding light coming through. The Pugna could be in danger. Quick decrepify TP, and nothing to punish it. Well played, sir. Well played. And meanwhile, down bottom, Moon Meander being pursued. He's got to axe his way back to safety, but the rocket barrage from Eurus there to greet him. Is it going to be enough with the Fatal Bonds? It is. Kill secured by Vici Gaming. Pressure all across the map.
Warlock is one of the heroes that kind of fell off for a variety of reasons. To me, it seemed like he was struggling in lanes whenever it was an aggressive lane. I would have thought that Coddle Beastmaster was an aggressive lane, and a Beastmaster would not get abused by a Warlock. This seems like the other way around.
Again. Eurus is diving for him. They've got the Fatal Bonds on the creep wave. He falls once more. The tower about to drop too. They threw out the glyph to keep this wave alive. They have another one coming in. While that's going on, they're trying to pressure Ori mid, but they can't do anything about this Pugna with the defensive decrep and the lack of nuke damage. That was something that they touched on, is there's not that much damage to dump into Chrono. And there's not that much damage to deal with the decrep. The TA is not going to help you there, so Ori having a free time of it early on.
And there's minimal disable as well, as we just saw Pugna be able to decrep TP out. That's going to be a consistent theme. Anytime anyone's in trouble, you have to either have the Ogre in the area, you have to Chrono, or you have to Roar. So 2 of your stuns are ultimates. Really the only reliable one is the Fire Blast.
Ori diving here. Oh, just barely able to limp out of range. Aoi will survive, but the tower can't limp anywhere. It can only explode, and that's exactly what Vici Gaming are going to do to it. Another glyph coming out, only delaying the inevitable. So that's 2 tier 1s down. Maybe Snake King can get the deny. Not even going to try for it. Map control just falling apart, and this is an old school ROTK pick. Used to run this Pugna in the off lane back in the day, and pulling it out here, 5th pick, it is feeling like a trump card so far. Is there something Fighting Pandas can do? We've talked about catch up in the jungle. Vici look like they want to contest that. Can they make a gank, smoke play? Like, is there anything else, or is it just far?
Ultimately, I think you just need to make sure that Vici Gaming are wasting time. Fighting Pandas somehow need to find a way to make sure. So TA is farming in her eastern jungle, but she kind of needs protection. As we see Dark Ascension be activated on Envy. He's on the run in this top lane.
You gotta hold that void until PYW gets close. Now he's gonna throw it out. Envy, no time walk, no chance. Vici Gaming, another kill, and another tier 1 about to be claimed.
Oh boy.
Jeez.
This is looking like a very fast game.
Moon Meander's not even close to level 6, so Eurus has no fear. They know the Void's dead. They know the Void's also not level 6. There's just no one to gank. They need these levels.
Yeah.
The XP difference, it's almost 4,000 already.
I don't know where you find the levels. There's nowhere safe. This tier 1 tower, last final one, goes down top. So every single jungle is very easily invadable by Vici Gaming.
I can only imagine the game plan is, the full court press. Get the aggressive wards down, keep on pressuring. Maybe during daytime you back off a little bit, but once Yang gets the Ags, it's just going to be nonstop.
Yeah, this is more than Vici Gaming were expecting to get this early on in the game. They don't need to put pedal to the metal, but they need to make sure that they keep this game plan up. Just keep hemming in, fighting pandas, make the map smaller and smaller for them, keep systematically taking towers.
Give it a little gas, you know?
Yeah.
Something that might accelerate their aggression is this Warlock ult. Doesn't quite have it yet, but coming soon. And one thing that could help them get these levels is the tomes. Do you see Envy queuing up a Midas for now? I don't know if you can get away with a Midas this game. That's an ambitious pick.
Well, Envy's an ambitious player. What can I say? Takes the tome as well.
Meanwhile, you've got Gyro going like straight into drums. You know, Eurus just wants to fight. Yang's getting the ag, so obviously, yeah, it's a bit of a farming item, but also accelerates your combat capabilities.
Panda smoke up. They want to get something done with this Chrono.
They also have the Brile level 8, so he packs a decent punch with the level 2 Bloodlust. But look at the positioning from Vici Gaming. They're sensing something isn't quite right. As Snake King's going to blast out the wave. No, actually, just the tower. Giving them a bit of vision, and now they're going to die. But the Warlock ult came through, connected on 3 heroes. The Courier trying to get back in the midst of this. They're committing everything for this Gyrocopter, but this gives Yang to come in. He's fighting into the Ignis. The Ignis is now dead. They're going to turn back for Snake King. Moon Meander on the run. Do they even get this Gyrocopter? He's going to get up another Rocket Barrage. He keeps on trucking, juking through the trees. The drums keep him alive for a long, long time, and they've lost 4. The lone survivor, Envy, now 300 gold closer to that prized Midas.
They really forced that. The idea is that, yes, if that smoke comes out, Gyro exposes himself, then for sure, use the Chrono. Thing is that they went for the Illuminate to get some vision, and then a Pugna illusion bumbles its way into the smoke. At that point, the smoke had already timed out, so the Pugna illusion finds out everything, and fighting pandas just panic. They're just like, let's just gank them. I mean, we came this far, might as well get some kills. As we take a look at this replay.
Take another look at this fight, and the positioning from DY here drops the rock, like you said, just got that scrap of vision. And, I mean, from there, this Gyro is so tanky, and they just do not have damage. Look how long it takes to kill Eurus. All the while, Yang is just lobbing out nukes. They're fighting against the Infernal. I mean, that hero, you really need to have burst damage to kill him off, and their only burst is this TA, who was not really able to hit him in that fight.
Yeah, which is why I'm a big fan of Eurus's itemization in this game. Many Gyros, I imagine, who have such a good start would just be like, yeah, I'll just rush the Aghanim Scepter. It's all good, but he gets to the drum, which, you know, also goes in line with what I think their game plan should be, which is continue pushing early on aggressively. As soon as this Pugna, who is smoked up with the Lina in this top lane, he's ready to go.
They don't have the Infernal, but they also know the Chrono's down, and the Ignis too. And so with that, they're going to go for a tier 2. Get some good wards down. They'll bring in the Pugna. He's got a DD, and this tower is not going to last very long. Fighting Panda's getting their trade, working on the tier 1. Well, this is where the Beastmaster can help you out. He's now got the max Call of the Wild, 2 points in Inner Beast with Bloodlust. They push pretty fast on Fighting Pandas. But I think if you go for tier 2, we may see Vici take the fight. They're going to have the Infernal up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Already TP.
I guess the idea, if they want to go for the tier 2, is they can take Vici Gaming out of their base. So Vici Gaming, they don't really want to have to defend this. They put all this aggressive vision in the Fighting Pandas base. They don't want to have to leave the area and then all of a sudden Snaking gets some free D wards because there's no one controlling all these wards. But instead, Fighting Pandas do draw 2 Vici heroes down. I don't really know how eager Fighting Pandas will be to go to the north side of their map, as they did lose their tier 2, but yeah, it's they're making salvageable moves so far.
Yeah, Pop-Tart just showing us those aggressive wards that they've planted down, trying to really pin in the Pandas.
Yeah, Nightstalker is 1k away from his Aghanim Scepter, so he will be more than happy to take advantage of that as soon as that Ags is online.
The one good piece of news is they're not very good at taking Roche on the Vici side.
True.
So Fighting Pandas get a little breather, but fights, well, they'll take those all day as they smoke. Leading with Ori, he's now completed the Aether Lens to go with this Veil. He packs a big bursty punch. Could catch out Envy here. Time walks out. That's not a very long leap. He's got a Chrono to disengage. Oh, this is going to enable that next fight. They did commit the Dark Ascension, though, so if Envy can get out, it's not a great trade, but it's not a total disaster. They're hunting, but an extra time walk should get him back to safety.
Yeah, ultimately that's fine. However, Golem did not have to be dropped, so DY is like, dude, I want to drop this rock. If we're not going to do a bot, then I want to find somewhere else to do it. It's now 15-minute runes. Might have to claim Aoi as a casualty, but he actually thinks better of it.
Yeah, ballsy Pugna. This little shamble of bones is starting to assemble pretty nicely. And he's just going to zap Snake King. Quick assassination. 9-1 the score, but more importantly, 9,000 the gold advantage. Almost 7,500 the experience lead.
That's pretty devastating.
This is. I've seen some crazy Jackie Mal comebacks in my day.
Sure.
This would probably top most of them.
I think so. The man, I mean, he knows the point that he was at. He's going for Midas in a game like this.
It's just like, he gets a perfect chrono. It's not like, oh yeah, now we win the fight. It's like, you get a perfect chrono, you still have to burst so many tanky heroes. Like this Night Stalker's tanky, Warlock's tanky, even as a support, the Gyro's built in early drums, is rushing to BKB. Lina, yeah, relatively easy kill. And, you know, Pugna 1,400 health, and what is the damage? It's Bryle with the Deso. So if he somehow sets it up so he can hit like perfect splash side blades, then they could probably get kills at Chrono, but otherwise, I don't think they have the damage, Neil.
I would say that's a pre-35 minute-ish plan. Post 35 minutes, I think, or rather pre-35 minutes, I think the goal is get ganks with maybe Moon Meander's Primal Roar. Any 5-on-5 engagement, you want to avoid like the plague. Maybe once Bryle manages to get some damage, yeah, I could see those perfect Sideblade initiations happening. But until then, I'm cool with Envy used in Chrono defensively. You are not going to win a team fight until you diminish this net worth advantage to maybe like 5k or something.
Vici Gaming, they want to put a stop to this pesky invasion of their jungle, and they're going to lead with Yang. Fresh debut of that Aghanim Scepter. Catches out Moon with that first Void. Stun coming through. Going to keep him locked down, so it'll be a 2-hero pickoff as Aoi desperately lumbers. But there is no escape in the west. He will go northeast, back to the well. So they lose 2 off that smoke. But Envy farming, Bryle farming, is it enough?
Yeah, I mean, fighting PandaS is falling on the sword in the interest of their cores. It's, again, I just wish the TA had more stacks to fall back on because she can't really go to the lane. Envy has to farm the lane. So the Templar Assassin is just running around from camp to camp, which is... she has a Desolator completed, so if by some miracle Vici Gaming lose like the Night Stalker and the Pugna, then Roche can go down very quickly and all of a sudden the game does change. But Vici Gaming are not doing that window. Even these movements that they're making, they're doing it as 5, despite having such a substantial net worth advantage.
Yeah, very respectful play, but it is not allowing them to accelerate their lead as much as they could if they took some risks.
Exactly.
But they get BOTs now in Ori. They're going to find an instant kill. Oh man, Moon Meander slapped down. When Pugna gets ahead, things can get ugly real quick.
This is heavy snowballing right now. No one can fight into him at all.
Tier 2 down. Dagon queued up. Gotta say, love the choice.
Yeah, Pugna's actually tankier than every single hero on Fighting PandaS right now, which is not something you see commonly from a
He's
hero
got
like
more
this.
armor than an ogre.
Yeah.
He's got more HP. You know, and he's got the defensive decrep if he needs it.
And Envy gets scouted out.
Envy, they know your they're your tricks. ROTK has taught them well.
What a ward near this top bounty rune that Radiant placed. Like, you'd think that these are areas that Vici Gaming would not have warded. You want as many aggressive wards as possible. Envy thinks he's safe, as now in the eastern jungle, we also see a BKB activated by Eurus.
They're going to roar him, look to engage. They've got the Desolator, the rockets dropped, the Ignis, not going to keep him out, and they're going to commit everything on this Gyrocopter. This is a big kill, but look at the damage from the call down and the flak coming through with the fatal bonds. It's almost enough to wipe them instantly. They've lost 3, counting Envy, 2 in that skirmish. Nothing is free in this game. And now probably a tier 2 to drop bottom as well.
Yeah, Gyro's not the real driving force behind these pushes. You got the Golem.
That fatal bonds with the Gyro is so dirty.
How is this combo being slept on for so long? Is now Yule's up on the Snake King. There's your D-push, Laguna Bladed down. And this may be a tier 3 at this point.
Well, J Storm, they showed a fearsome combo, and Vici are like, great, we'll take that. We'll make it our own now, too. And maybe we'll see you later on in the winner bracket.
I mean, that's what it felt like with this Night Stalker as well. It felt like TNC broke new ground on it, and then Vici Gaming was like, I like that. It's a pretty good idea.
Now everyone has a Night Stalker in
That's
their
a Night
arsenal.
Stalker. And in multiple roles too. Like this time it was Yang as opposed to being in like the 1 position with Paparazzi or Eurus.
So, PandaS, they picked up the Midas on Envy. They've got the Deso on the TA of Bryle working towards a Blink. Vlad's up on the Beastmaster. I mean, they are, you know, as much as you could expect, keeping their farm up, I want to say, but man, that graph is very stubbornly continuing to go in favor of Vici.
The game is suffocating, and they're managing to get these items without losing too many core kills. Like, Envy dies, but I don't really, like, it's not his fault to be in that area farming. It's more just great warding by Vici to know where to find a hero like that in a situation like this, but they're completing items. It's just they need to complete objectives. They've only taken 1 tower so far. Roche is ideally going to happen within the next 4 minutes while it's still daytime, but I don't think Yang is going to use Dark Ascension recklessly, and they're keeping the areas warded up pretty tight.
Something a little different from Yang is going to pick up the Vanguard here.
Oh yeah.
Going towards Crimson Guard. In fact, already has it complete. So not your typical like kind of Nico baby Night Stalker we've seen. You know, also while TNC were running it with Gabby, just more of like that, you know, super late game Night Stalker. This is the let's fight now, let's be really strong now. But they might not know about this Roshan, which is getting low. This is a classic Envy play, and he will snag the Aegis for Bryle. They get out all of them, just jetting away to freedom, teleporting back. Man, Vici Gaming, how did they miss that?
That was very slick, and I bet Snaking was shitting his pants there because he was just like, oh god, Night Stalker is coming after me. If he activates Dark Ascension and just inadvertently flies left a little bit and sees my whole team in the pit, we are so screwed. But he runs right, and Snaking, I mean, Yang was not willing to activate, like I said, activate Dark Ascension recklessly during daytime. So he sees just a Coddle, he's like, whatever, I'm not going to chase that. And in the entire time, fighting PandaS very subtly take a Roche.
They take that Roche really fast.
Yes, for sure. Which is, they're going to be able to take towers very fast also if they ever manage to make their way to the other side of the map.
All right, still a 17,000 gold lead as Envy is going to TP out, but what will Vici Gaming do with it? They've been getting hero kills, they've taken outer towers, but, you know, denying that Aegis, do they want to risk a high ground push?
Oh, Snake King.
Maybe with the kill here. They'll set up quickly, take down Snake King. It is still daytime for a couple of minutes.
I'd say Vici Gaming are just going to chill until Natural Night or until 30 seconds before when they'll just activate Dark Ascension and go for a pick. But there's, I mean, you're still 17,000 net worth ahead at 23 minutes into the game. I don't think you need to be too concerned.
Those are famous last words.
Sure,
for him.
Especially against an Envy team for sure.
Yeah, this one would make a good anime, and that's basically how you. Oh, well, Owie. Owie's been caught out here by the scan. Called out comes through, Void as well. They're gonna bring in Eurus. He'll secure the kill. But that's just part of the story.
Oh yeah,
you know,
no,
it's
this is
the
the motivation.
selfless friend dying just to buff Envy up a little bit.
My ogre died. I must avenge him this game.
He's getting stronger. Plus 10% decision making.
Exactly. It's all incremental buffs. They got some time left on this Aegis, but I'm pretty sure Bryle does not want to do anything with this. He doesn't even want to die the first time, because if he does, there's a very little chance that he'll be able to survive the second. So he's just using this to farm and deny it from Vici Gaming.
So Bryle is close to a BKB. How important is that BKB this game?
It's critical against Pugna. The problem is you still have to deal with the Golem from the Warlock. And actually, it doesn't look like PYW is going for an Aghanim Scepter on the Lina, at least not yet. More pick-off-oriented items, and she has picked up the Blink Dagger and the Yules, which has been working out quite well. But Pugna's been quiet, and he's working his way to this Dagon. You need these BKBs on your Void and your TA if you even want to think about entering a fight.
They've done a good job at just playing keep away, honestly. Like Vici Gaming trying to snuff out the infestation, but you know, going for the BOTs on the Pugna, the Blink on him, the Night Stalker now been gifted a gem, I think, by the Warlock. And yet Vici Gaming are not really finding kills. PandaS are still farming the map. They are still spreading out a decent amount, and just haven't found that killer move yet.
Yeah, and I give a lot of props to AUI for that. The man, as he's proven throughout this tournament, is just as much of the warding genius and dewarding genius as he always was. And he's managed to minimize the amount of vision that Vici Gaming have. But now, it is Natural Night, and Yang actually activates Dark Ascension, but he has a gem. He's probably just looking for all these AUI wards that are lying around.
There's only one down towards the triangle at the moment. The sentry's not something they really care as much about.
Yeah. At least not now that it's actual night time. But
that was a big commitment to deward their side of the map. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 sentry wards.
Yeah. It's working though. I mean, the Midas, I would say, has paid off at this point. He's made his way to the Maelstrom, and he had the BKB in quick buy, and so I'm sure if he was like, oh, they're pushing high ground, I gotta build this BKB. But he held off on it, managed to make his way to the Maelstrom, and Vici Gaming are still not really actively sieging any more objectives after taking every single outer tier 2.
Here comes Yang. He's found Owie. A sacrifice to the
No,
Stalker.
they killed my Ogre again, another 10%.
And even that Ogre is work.
Yeah.
The death thralls. Sounds like a Wampa Wampa from Star Wars or something. Jesus.
I'm very surprised at how apprehensive Vici Gaming are playing right now. It's almost like they took every single outer tower and they're just like,
well, what do we do now?
now what?
Aegis was in the script. Now we've deviated.
Yeah. Snaking on the run. Glimmer
They
gets
have the
completed.
gem. Glimmer is no save.
They run the other way.
In fact, there is a hill ward, and it does scout out Snaking.
Aw,
Yang is closing the
cancel
distance.
that.
He's got the void. That's a dead Snaking. Now, this is a more painful kill. He's about 4 times the net worth of the Ogre. 3.5. Out for 45.
I guess he kind of does confirm that there's a cliff ward with that death, but I think that's not still going to make you that happy.
Throwing bodies at the enemy wards.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to dig deep. Sometimes you got to dig deeper. As Yang is going to cleanly rotate now. Dark Ascension deployed. Diving towards the shrine. Is going to silence up that Beastmaster. Gets off the void. The team is very far away. PYW has found Bryle up on a cliff. Stunning him for the time being. Keeping him in check. Laying in the auto attacks. They've got the Night Stalker here. They cannot afford to lose their Templar Assassin, and they will! Out for a minute. He did hold on to his buyback. And his BKB, I should say. So, can use it if they want to, but they'll still be down the Beastmaster for 30. Oh, man.
Dude,
Is this one of those games where you just say, give them 1 lane of racks?
I would think that Ori and the gang may just start pushing tier 4s because well, blink in, Yang. No, he's chilling. Bryle kind of like cliffed himself there.
Yeah, I think he just blinked up there. They don't have any way to cliff him, do they?
No.
I don't believe so.
And Yang has flying vision with Dark Ascension.
And a gem.
And a gem.
Which
So
I think they already should have known about that because of the gang top.
Exactly, because Snaking did Glimmer cape himself and they still attacked him with the Glimmer, so they're gonna go for Megas, I suppose. I mean, they have no incentive to leave.
Envy, come home. Envy, where are you? Vici Gaming keep on asking, but Envy doesn't want to come out to play. All right, here he is. Now the fight. Yang out in front, doesn't have a BKB. Thinks about a chrono, but instantly they keep the homie missile locked onto him. Now Vici will back, so they've taken a lane. They've taken another tier 3. They can go shrines. It's PYW just blinking out. There was a roar.
That is an immense level of respect. Void does not even have his BKB completed yet. The dude went for a Mask of Madness after
they're
the
smoking.
Maelstrom.
It's go time. This is where the hype anime J-Rock kicks in. Cue your theme song, because if you're a Fighting Pandas fan, you're going to need it. They're down 22,000. They do catch out this Night Stalker, or should I say the Night Stalker, well, he's caught out Owie. But coming in from behind is Envy. Goes in, looking for the Chrono. He's caught out 2. They've got the Warlock as well as the Gyrocopter.
Oh, he's
Who's he going to kill? The Decrep just completely
so close.
cock-blocking him. And now the nuke's raining down the pain. The agony of defeat as they get
GG.
completely slaughtered. It was a gambit. It was a fail. And it was a game of Dota 2. Quickly finished.
Supposedly, it was a game of Dota 2.
27-3.
Yeah.
God, that was a spanking.
Yeah. That was spanking. I props to the last pick. I think the Pugna was the make or break factor for that Vici Gaming draft. Being able to shut down Bryle so effectively, being able to take every single outer tower before like 20 minutes pretty much, it made the game unwinnable, I think. It was worth a shot. I don't know if Envy should have built 3 farming items in a game like that, the Midas, the Maelstrom, and the Mask of Madness, but, you know, nothing ventured.
It wouldn't be an Envy game.
It wouldn't be an Envy game otherwise.
Oh, this is the man who definitely doesn't want to rush BKB.
No, 100% no. That's why I was so surprised.
It was
seeing
kind
his
of a
quick buy.
classic Envy game, you know, like the trying to farm the enemy jungle. But people are wise to those tactics now. They're, you know, it's like they've seen the tape on Envy at this point, and man, that couldn't have tasted good going down. You know, kind of like your chunky, delicious smoothie.
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff right there.
Oh, please don't get any on our microphone. Your beard.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Whatever. So, game 1. Very. do you need to do?
I don't need to, but I will.
Jesus Christ.
I don't really know.
That is uglier than game 1. I'm just saying.
I don't know what the plan is for fighting Pandas necessarily. I would say make sure Bryle gets a better mid lane matchup. I would have been okay with snaking sacrificing Moon Meander a little bit more, because I think that if they were able to establish some stacks in the jungle, then it wouldn't have just been like there was no one core on fighting Pandas that was able to make space. Both, like, the Beastmaster couldn't get anything done, the Void couldn't get anything done, the TA couldn't get anything done. At least one of them needed to have a reasonable threat at killing people within the first 15 minutes. But instead, like, it seemed like all 3 lanes were like, no, please, it has to be me. I'm the one who needs to get farmed.
Instead, it was just an unreasonable beatdown.
Yeah.
And with those solemn words, we are going to see what our panel has to say. They are now ready to talk about how fighting Pandas recover heading into game number 2.
Yeah, they do need to recover, because that was... I hope that they can just, you know, forget about that game. Pretend it never happened, as I'm sure a lot of fans out there will, because that was not a game of Dota 2. They
didn't really get to play what they...
No.
Like, at least with how they drafted it. Bryle did...
Yes.
We were both like, Bryle's actually doing pretty good in the mid lane, all things considered, but the side lanes were absolute disaster.
It was the only lane that was doing okay, and you know. Yeah.
It's like one of those pub games. You go mid, and you've got a bad matchup, but you manage to make the best of it, and then your side lanes are falling apart, and you're just like, come on, guys. Like, I'm meant to be the one having a rough time here.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm doing my best. Beastmaster Coddle lane, absolute disaster. No blinding light until level 3.
Blast and then Chakra, and the Blast didn't seem to do anything. Like the first few waves, I looked at it and I saw Paparazzi with like, he was 33 and 20 in the first, like, I think first 5-6 minutes.
And Beastmaster was, I think, 11 or 12.
Yeah, like maybe, something like that, like 10 last hits or something like that.
I mean, is the lane... So, all right, so it's the Beastmaster, Keeper of the Light lane. They've done it before successfully, actually. Is that lane supposed to go like that? Like, I know the answer is no, but like, how is the lane supposed to go? How much ahead should one of the other come out of it?
It's hard to say, because we don't see the Beastmaster axe build at all. We don't see Coddle as a 4 position, not skilling Blinding Light. Blinding Light is the reason why this hero went from being unpicked at TI, one of 3 heroes not picked at TI, to suddenly being a first pick worthy support was Blinding Light.
Yeah.
The changes, the buffs to this spell is what made the hero viable.
And it makes such a big difference too. It's like, we looked at just talking last hit, so we were saying it's like 33 to 12. If you have Blinding Light, you're messing with Gyrocopter constantly, but he had it, and by the time he had the Blinding Light, the laning phase was pretty much over for them. This Gyrocopter was massive, and then the first rotation that they actually had, they brought 5 heroes bottom. Warlock gets the rock off before the Chrono. The Chrono only catches the Warlock. They eventually kill Paparazzi, but
they get 1 kill.
They lose 4 heroes. They don't get any tower pressure. It was a mess of a game for them, for sure.
Can we talk about that Warlock for a bit? Because DY had a brilliant game. He had a lot of fun that game.
This hero might be back, especially with Gyrocopter or any heroes that take advantage of the fatal bonds in these team fights. Warlock is still a legit 5 position. Kind of forgotten. It's good to see people like remember some of these heroes they forget about. I know Cap's been talking about with like Nyx Assassin, where it's like there's all these like Leshes and sometimes ODs, and it's like, why is no one picking Nyx? Came out of Dota, somebody crushed the game. Like, there's no Warlock's still a good hero.
It's all about flavor of the month. And maybe Warlock is like the new flavor in town again. Or retro.
It feels really nice. I don't know. It's just like Fatal Bonds, and then even just the heal in the lane. Like, everything's about sustaining inside of your lanes right now. People are buying like 2-3 sets of tangos, salves. This hero just naturally has it built in.
Heroes with free CK, became meta because he has built-in regen to his crit. You know, like Warlock built-in regen should theoretically be very good.
Yeah.
So we know that the bottom lane went very much into Vici's favor. Warlock had a great game. At about 9 minutes in, 10 minutes in, he had more net worth than the Faceless Void safe lane on the side. Because, you know, I know Night Stalker and Lina, you know, they are also the current flavors, that everybody loves them. They're great, super aggressive. But should they have been crushing that top lane so much? Should Void not have been able to get some more farm? How was that lane so difficult? Because as you said, the first rotation only happened very late, and it didn't happen on the top lane. What happened there?
I think Night Stalker Lina is one of the strongest lanes at the moment. Okay. I think Lina +1, like one of these beefy heroes, like Legion even or something. I think Legion Lina might actually even be stronger inside a laning phase, because Night Stalker's not really the strongest during laning phase. But Lina, I think that hero is just insane. Like these melee heroes, you can't walk up. Most heroes can't trade. They had an Ogre, but even then, like the Ogre walks up and he can't really do much of anything. The Lina
takes too much hit.
Has such far range, such good damage too.
It feels like we might be starting to see Void fall off a little bit. Particularly in this like dual lane meta, it feels like if he's up against a dual lane that he can't farm in, he has a really rough time. I think Alliance have made it work, but they're also one of the teams that will run tri lanes consistently.
Yeah.
They'll put 33 alone. Hanskin will just help out tri lane with like some Ogre Mirana, and then they give Nico Baby free farm. But if you're picking a Void there in this game and he's not free farming, like it doesn't really look that scary.
Yep. Oh. I think that's a good point, actually. I saw Liquid doing the same thing. Like, Liquid was playing, Mickey was playing the Void, and they would aggro tri-lane and leave Mickey bottom at first, and then they'd swap it up and full protect him to make sure he has an amazing game. And I think that game he went like 8-0 and 10. So, yeah, I like that point a lot, for sure.
Can definitely work. I must say also, I mean, we're talking a lot about how Fighting PandaS had a rough game, and it showed. We also have to give credits where credit's due. Vici Gaming had a perfect game plan, executed it very nicely, and then looked very solid. No like weak points whatsoever that they might have shown a little bit in the group stages. They just looked good, looked on fire.
Yeah, good items, and I think Tsunami was the one who said at the end, like the Pugna last pick just was like the nail in the coffin, because it gave them the pushing power, allowed them to keep being aggressive, and it was perfect. Yep.
Can't wait to see more from them. But how are Fighting PandaS gonna come back? Because was this a drafting issue? Do you feel like they just also got outplayed?
Both. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to say like part of it was draft. End of the day, they didn't play their draft the way I feel like they should have. There's no blinding light on Coddle. The Void Ogre lane, maybe it's meant to lose, but probably not that badly as well. So.
Okay. Well, what are they going to do in game number 2? Find out after the break.